Hello, hello, lovely audience. Seth Estrada here, and if you're watching this video, you're probably on my YouTube channel, Seth Estrada. First off, huge shout out to Yankee for being first comment, and also for the personal outreach yesterday. Guys, community is everything, and the Mind Your Biz community is what keeps me coming back. You hear me say it, you are the reason to make these videos, and I truly do love your face. You see behind me, beautiful mountains. It should be summer. First day of summer came, but it still looks an awful lot like spring. Look at those mountains. Look at the snow-capped goodness there. Now, you see behind me also an empty parking lot. Hey, we see, I see T-Bone. Sorry, guys. The direct sunlight's going to make it a little bit harder for me to read some of your comments, but just know that I will read them, check in a couple of minutes here. I wanted to make this video a little bit more tactical and talk live right now while we're live. Do me a solid, hit that like button. Go ahead and share this out to Twitter, share it out to Reddit if you feel so inclined, share it out to Discord, Telegram, I'll tell whoever, but really appreciate it. Hey, Yankee, I like this background also. Greg, good to see you're still alive, brother. Keep on kicking. You know what I mean. So you see behind me also, not just the mountains, which, first off, are some of my inspiration, right? So I love being able to see this backdrop when I go outside, when I take a walk, when I have to just get my mind clear. And that happened today. Dear community, I've been spread a little bit too thin. And if you've been talking to me privately, then you probably have a good idea of how many projects I'm focused on right now. There are coin projects that I desperately want to review and give. Oh no, I'm being told that my video is a little bit choppy. Looks like I've got almost full bars on 4G. So 4G LTE should be okay. I apologize if the video quality isn't perfect. Let me just kind of lock this frame down a little bit so that the video encoding doesn't force me to send as many bits to YouTube's encoders. It's a funny thing. So many of us come to cryptocurrency mining from other IT backgrounds. So, yeah. Anyway, mine is a little more geared towards media production, educational media, and technical media, right? So documentation media and training. But awesome. Glad to hear that it's not too choppy for everybody. Guys, wanted to make this a little more tactical and talk a bit about coins that make sense to mine today. Why? Because everything changes, right? This is cryptocurrency. It's mining. Don't like the profitability? Wait 6 hours. Know what I mean? Net hash tends to go on a rip some days because who knows why? There could be an ASIC manufacturer over in China that's testing out new systems. There could be a Bitstream developer stateside or somewhere in South Africa for all we know, or in Australia and New Zealand. Because there are brilliant minds right around the globe. People who are testing out new bitstreams or testing out new miner optimizations on their own private farms just to make sure that things work, right? So, and or as Yankee says in the comments, it could just be that a mining whale has decided to pause their rigs for a day or two. So you can never tell what's going to be the biggest effect on net hash for a given coin. At any rate, the other disclaimer that I always have to give, and I apologize, guys, it's a lot of CYA in this space. Cryptocurrency mining is not as mainstream as other kinds of commentary, right? Or I was going to say influencer action in YouTube, but really for commentary, I've always got to give the disclaimer, this is not financial, business, or legal advice. Womp womp, you already knew that, but I had to say it. So mine at your own risk, it's a speculative investment, as you know. Both the CapEx for the equipment and then also the OpEx, the ongoing costs for just participating. So if you get wrecked, you need to have done your own research first, right? Don't just listen to some random guy on YouTube and take his word as like gospel. However, I think today there's really strong evidence to support that if you're on NVIDIA, you've got high profitability within Merkle tree proofs. So shout out to Ruben Yap. He and I have been talking over the last couple of days. If you go to the Mind Your Biz blog, you'll see a reprinted article that he wrote that he's actually been editing ongoing. It's a comparative analysis between the different privacy technologies across coins. And Zcoin is a really strong privacy protocol. They use a really strong privacy protocol, and they're in active development of new privacy protocols. Am I a beneficiary of some kind of, hey, is that crypto noof? Hey, good to see you, man. I don't see you comment that often on my videos, but I haven't gone live in a while, so thank you for showing up in solidarity. But Zcoin, really strong privacy protocol. They're working on the Sigma privacy protocol, so they're actively developing privacy and they're actively changing. Let me make that more clear. There are coins that are private by default and that are really good, but they aren't necessarily actively changing their privacy protocol or actively admitting to there being some kinds of other issues. So, yep, so Vampirus is saying that Zero Coin protocol is broken. Absolutely. Here's what I love about Ruben Yap's work. Now, do I hold a lot of Zcoin? No, I don't. Am I a proponent of mining Zcoin? Today, yes. And here's why. Because Zero Coin privacy protocol is broken, Ruben and the community surrounding Zcoin, they just came out and said, hey, it's broken. We need to fix it. We're going to work on Sigma. And we're going to actively promote this replacement technology. We're going to aggressively double down on our development efforts to replace that privacy protocol. That's why I wanted to reprint Ruben's article, word for word, link for link, totally unchanged, on the Mind Your Biz webpage. So I'll field questions from the comments, guys, in just a minute. But that's why I'm really excited. Yankee's talking about it's one of the few coins that will survive, and I totally agree. It's backed by proof of work. However, it does have a masternode block reward as well, so there's incentive to kind of control a bit of the price action by locking up coins. So they've got a couple of really strong financial incentives for participation within the broader community. Not only that, but Ruben's a super down-to-earth guy. Super down-to-earth guy. Yeah, Yankee's saying there should be 10 to 15 cryptocurrencies that survive. I don't know that I fully agree. I think that there might be more than 10 to 15, in the same way that Forex is a thing with dozens, right? Dozens of coins. There could be tokens maybe issued across a couple of really strong cryptocurrency networks, blockchain networks, that then form the basis for new world currencies across every single nation in the world. But I don't know how likely it is that every single nation is going to agree on one single transaction protocol and one single blockchain. Who knows? Maybe 10 years from now, we'll find there is one blockchain to rule them all, and that every single nation says, yeah, we're comfortable because here. But, I mean, let's be real. Privacy protocols and mining, the reason that most of us are here is because regardless of where we live in the world, we have fairly strong libertarian bonds that bring us together. We don't like being surveilled by our countries. He says, while live streaming, literally broadcasting his thoughts on a public platform. Thank you, NSA. Yes, I'm still here, and I filed an extension for my taxes, so step off. But the reality is a lot of us have strong libertarian tendencies. So I don't know how likely any of us would be to opt in to a system like that, right? Where it's like, this is a really strong blockchain layer and we love it. Ergo, we would love for every single national currency to be issued here. Let's issue a token. Totally. I'm going to transfer all of my net worth onto this public ledger blockchain that every nation in the world now has control of. That is quite a bit, sounds quite a bit like a new world order to me. I don't know how it sounds to you, but I'm super not interested in that program. So, privacy by default, big deal. Fungibility, big deal. A lot, divisibility and portability, all the characteristics of sound money that are applied to private cryptocurrencies, I'm a huge fan of. So privacy, anonymity, they matter. I can carry thousands upon thousands of US dollars in my pocket in cash. That irritates Uncle Sam, and it irritates other state-level actors because they can't police me as strongly as if I leave everything in an FDIC-insured bank with strong controls, with AML calls every time that I want to transfer more than $3,000, with if I want to withdraw more than $3,000 or $5,000 from my bank, having them literally ask me, "What are you going to do with this money?" Well, none of your darn business. It's my money. Who asked you? But that's the game. Those are the rules today. However, cash, I can carry around. Most people would, if the US dollar were actually backed by anything of substance, most people would view cash as, okay. It's too bad that it's not, right? Bummer. But all the characteristics of sound money are to be found in private, anonymous cryptocurrencies, not necessarily in Bitcoin proper. Bitcoin proper is a really good, air quotes, gold standard, right? It is a bearer bond. It is finite. There's a publicly auditable amount of it. So that's a kind of a big deal. But as far as currency, like a cash replacement, something you could bring with you and use effectively, I don't know. I don't know that it totally fits the bill. Privacy coins, they're pretty much chicken butt taking names. So you'll see on the mineyour.biz blog, just mineyour.biz/blog, you'll see an article reprinted by Ruben Yap with his permission, and it's actually a very profitable coin to mine on NVIDIA today, especially the RTX models. So that's up, and I'm kind of excited about that. Not, it's not too big of a surprise that offering your Merkle tree proof hash rate to NiceHash will give you a significant kickback in Bitcoin as well. I think they're numbers 1 and 2 respectively for RTX cards. For GTX cards, any other NVIDIA cards, obviously you've got ETH hash at the top of the stack for the stacked ranking. So you've got your Metaverse, you've got your Ethereum. See, yes, Facebook coin to the moon for sure. Please, yes. Can I guys? Do I have permission to go on a little tangent here about Facebook coin? May I? May I please? I really want to tell you. This is a great story. So, Facebook. For a number of years, I used an alt account. I spelled my name using Japanese characters. I didn't actually use my real name for years. And during the alts and sock puppets and stuff, and people are just too mean to each other. So we can't just let people form any old account here. And for whatever reason, I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I wanted to go back to my given name, my legal name. And Facebook was like, we don't believe you. We don't believe that that's your name. And it's like, what? They forced me to upload ID to prove I am me. I should have just kept with the anonymous account, in retrospect. But, I didn't. And I locked down some of the privacy settings there, but I'm not a huge fan. There are a bunch of other projects that I'm excited about, but keeping to the topic of profitability for mining, on GPUs, you got Ethereum that's really high stacked rankings for the sort of publicly listed profit calculators. You've got Metaverse, you've got Ethereum. Ethereum Classic has kind of popped up behind one on a rip yesterday for mining on both AMD and NVIDIA. Pretty exciting there. But of course with Vega and with Radeon 7, they kind of break the mold because of that memory bandwidth and their ability to just kick butt and take names on crypto nodes, right? So variants of crypto nodes. So pay attention to, shout out to Conceal Network because they made top 6. Really kind of underdog story there. And I kind of chatted with Tegas this morning actually about Conceal Network. So expect to see a proper review of that coin there, or maybe an interview with Tegas. You let me know down in the comments. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer that I do kind of a white paper read through and a review of Conceal Network, or would you rather see a developer interview like the good old days? Let me know. But you've got Conceal Network that made top 6. That was kind of unexpected. You've got Monero that's still profitable. Which is kind of exciting because it wasn't profitable for a while. But then you've got some other crypto nodes as well. BitTube, high on the list. Haven, high on the list. Pretty exciting stuff. So guys, so basically anything that's an Ethereum variant, if you're big on Ethereum, if you believe in Ethereum and what it's doing, being the world's computer and having there be multiple tokens that launch from it, I'm just going to say ERC20, yeah, it is fundamentally broken in some ways, but that's why ERC223 came out, and that's why ERC721 came out for non-fungible tokens. And there are ways to issue tokens on Ethereum that aren't broken. And smart contracts on Ethereum aren't necessarily broken today. The leadership, you might not fully agree with that. Their choice to adopt certain proof of work algorithms over others and their time frame for doing so, you might not agree with, but don't think that Ethereum is fundamentally broken. And yeah, I don't know. That's my thought on the matter. Not only that, but if you're really aggressively pursuing trading with these cryptocurrencies, Go for what makes profit, and then sort it out in the aftermath when you're trying to figure out what you're going to trade with, what your trading collateral is. What you initially mine kind of doesn't matter if you're aggressively pursuing high frequency trades. So it doesn't matter if you're cashing out daily, doesn't matter. If you're trading daily, doesn't matter. If you're flipping collateral into something else, or you're pooling hash rate with other people, then you kind of have to aggressively pursue what yields the highest profit for that day. Period. Plain and simple. All right, guys, so that's on the GPU side. CPU side, there are several notable coins. Monero, of course, is announcing RandomX, or they're auditing RandomX for potential adoption. And hey, Doug, how you doing, man? Hello, all the way down in Arizona. The mountains miss you, so is the humidity that's coming with it right there. Moisture. Don't meme that, please. Or do, I don't know. Whatever, it's the internet. Do what you feel like. So, yeah, guys, CPU. Always has to give a shout out to Nerva, right? Angry Wasp. Is Nerva a perfect project? No, it's not a perfect project. Is Angry Wasp a perfect person? No, but he took some risk with launching that coin, and then there are some additional projects that have launched from it that are CPU mineable and quite strong. And then with FPGAs, that's kind of a tough nut to crack right now. If you're not already into the FPGA mining scene, then announcing publicly in video what has the most profit kind of does a disservice to the rest of the FPGA mining scene. But what I will say is that FPGA mining isn't dead. Acorn mining isn't dead. Any FPGA that launched, so you're getting more profit than you're spending in electricity in almost every market by using an FPGA. Break-even times, that's kind of what is up for debate, right? The internal rate of return. Guys, I noticed that we've kind of hit critical mass for live viewership. Do me a solid and hit that like button just one more time, and feel free to share this video anywhere that you are online, Twitter, Reddit, etc. But guys, FPGA mining is an interesting space. And as I found myself kind of a little bit behind the scenes there, talking with some of the developers for hardware, and then getting help with the Bitstream developers, getting help from them to be able to work on some media upcoming. So expect kind of a slightly more brass tacks chat in an upcoming video about different popular FPGA platforms. Because as you know, you have options now. This time last year, not quite as many options, but now plenty, and more coming out every quarter. Just leave it at that. But there's exciting stuff coming up for FPGAs. What I will say is that the public stuff, 0x Bitcoin, as well as Tribus, some people are not super happy with that, but they've remained profitable over several months. A huge shout out to Dave over at SQRL, right? Dave Stanfield. So he's done a phenomenal job of kind of dealing with a lot of nonsense. People who are really upset, issuing refunds and then having people throw it back in his face like, you're not doing enough for me. People calling the SQRL team scam artists. I'm sorry, but you don't establish a team like what I saw out in Ohio when I visited. You don't establish a team like that by being con artists, by being scam artists. The SQRL team is, they're definitely professional. So if they're involved in some kind of a scam, it's got to be a really long game. I'm just not seeing it, guys. I'm really not seeing it. So you let me know in the comments, what is your estimation of SQRL and their offerings, their market offerings? Are you a customer? Have you been pleased so far with how you've been dealt with by way of refunds, requests, or customer service when you've had questions? My experience with them has been nothing short of phenomenal. That said, I think they also know that we kind of really big megaphones, so if I wasn't happy with them, I could absolutely nuke them, right, from outer space. That could happen. So it's as anybody can who's got a slightly more public platform, right, to talk. It's not that I'm like special or privileged as much as I maybe have a slightly bigger toehold, right, in that space. So my experience with them has been like I've been able to observe that they've conducted themselves with integrity over the long haul. Let me say for the record also that, this time last year, I really thought I really thought that the joint venture between SQRL and Minority was going to work out. There was a lot apparently that I didn't know about what was going on behind the scenes between them. So this is as close as I think I can come to issuing a public apology. If anybody felt like misled because they watched media of mine and I seem to strongly endorse hosting with Minority or buying through Minority or buying through SQRL for that matter. All I'm going to say is that Minority has clearly closed the doors, and it's not clear what Minority's intentions are now. But now, hindsight's 2020. It is clear what SQRL's intentions are, and that is to issue customer service for devices that they sold and devices that they've offered to host. They make themselves available, and they're trying to do right by the community. So any casual observer should be able to see that. When I see Dave getting a lot of grief, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of baffling to me. I don't know why people would do that. Anyway, so guys, let's take a couple of really quick questions. I really thought I was gonna shoot this video a little bit shorter, but that's kind of long and the short of it is GPU mining, obviously profitable with Bitcoin prices on the rise and then maintaining fairly high profitability. It's been a rising tide, right? So anything that's GPU mineable has done well, and then anything that, of course, you can mine to nice hash, which is going to be a large swath of new miners. They're going to be very tempted by that. And of course, if you're just looking for collateral to go trade, it's going to be a really strong value proposition for anybody who's mining. I'm not going to engage in nice hash bashing, and I don't know that I ever have, for the record. I think there are probably viable alternatives that may be better overall because it's not consolidating that concept of renting out your hash. But I will say that renting out your hash rate to another actor and then getting paid in the coin of your choice, that's like profit switching on some pools and just getting paid out in the coin of your choice. So you find the best service that works for you. But what I will say is that when profits are up like they are right now, it makes sense to get your hands on collateral that you can then actively trade or sell or work with in order to pay down your expenses if needs be. Now, if you can just afford to throw money at your electric bill, then view it as, whatever, crypto on a discount, right? By paying a tiny little bit of power. And then you've got more crypto than market rate. It's cool, right? When you view it that way. So if you're just mining personally and you're not mining as a small business, that might be something you can do to just justify the expense. Or if you are mining as a business, that might be a way. Obviously, talk to a tax professional about that. Talk to your accountant about that to see if that is a way that you can, show your crypto acquisitions on paper. Maybe you can, but at least as a thought exercise, I think that's valid. A valid way of viewing mining is just this is market rate crypto on discount. All I'm paying for is power. That makes sense? Is that crazy? Tell me down in the comments. But anyway, we had a couple of questions in the comment section. If you have any other questions for me right now about profitability or anything else, let me know while I go through these questions really fast. So Doug is saying he's had success in buying hash rate. Yeah, me too. I've mentioned on other streams that I've done a so-called hash rate bomb on a couple of smaller networks right before algo changes, just because I couldn't muster enough hash rate on my own solo to really make a dent in the net hash. And it's not that I was trying to 51% attack anybody or execute a double spend attack, like more of a percentage of the block reward. Yeah, CryptoNof is saying that SQRL launched their product too early, he thinks. I agree. It's really tough being ahead of the curve, but at the same time, in cryptocurrency and in hardware in general, there's almost no such thing as being too early in a way, you want to be as early as possible to market. Otherwise, there's difference being too early versus being too late. I'd much rather have advanced hardware too early. You know what I mean? Software can catch up. And we saw this with desktop computing in the early 2000s. Guys, I bought one of the very first consumer AMD 64-bit CPUs, totally expecting to be able to build 64-bit computing desktop, a 64-bit desktop. Microsoft dragged their feet for 5 years. It took years to get proper 64-bit support for desktop computing. I had to go with Linux. Like I was forced to start using Fedora or Fedora Core at the time, Fedora Core 2. First easy to install 64-bit desktop operating system. So yeah, do hardware manufacturers get dinged for being first to market with new technologies? Totally they do. But there's opportunity there for people who write software or who write drivers, right? So the big streaming developers of today are going to be the kings of mining tomorrow, right? So looking back through some of the comments right here, Luke Paging is saying he can't wait for the review of Conceal Network. I can't wait to do it, guys. I'm really excited, but I'm committed to doing that review. So Vampirus is saying that Mimblewimble is the ultimate privacy protocol. He thinks it's fast, scalable, and low weight on blockchain. I'm excited to see additional implementations of Mimblewimble and see where that goes, right? Because some people are finding that the ease of use for Grin is totally right. That's a misnomer. It's not easy to use. It's just not easy to use at all. So hopefully that gets figured out, right? We get some ease of use, some UX improvements to crypto in general, paired with that level of privacy. That'd be awesome. So let's see what other questions we have. I'm not seeing many. Hey, we got Smooth Crypto from Brazil. Como vai? I apologize for not saying hello earlier. All right, guys, so I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions there, but let me check back, get refreshed. Okay, guys, so we don't have many questions. Appreciate you tuning in. Guys, you let me know, what are some coin projects that you're excited about? Obviously, no shilling ref links, no shilling links at all. It's disabled on this platform, so if you try, it's going to be held for you to run, and I'm probably going to delete it. That you'll notice that anybody who's trying to scam there, right? Your stuff doesn't normally get through. But what projects are you excited about? What hardware are you using to mine it? If you haven't joined the Discord community, obviously, please do. The mineyour.biz community, we oftentimes go live to chat there. So if you have questions about new hardware, if you have questions about new coins, there's usually somebody from the community that can field questions live in English in a voice chat. How cool is that? All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you watching to the end of the video. Appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and clicking the bell icon so you're notified when we go live in future broadcasts. You're the reason I make these videos. You know I love your face, right? Right? I do. I'll see you in the next one.